Shelpers, it's that time again, time for my best games of the year. As always, I am your host, the talking stained glass turtle no one's ever heard of, and we are doing this again. So the criteria is I've had to play the game long enough to know whether or not I liked it well enough, and 2, it had to have come out in the previous year. So every game I will be talking about will be the previous year's releases for North America. I know some things come out earlier in Japan. I don't have access to that. That's not what we're talking about. So without further ado, let's go to number 3. Suika Game, also called the Watermelon Game, was a viral game for a while for us VTubers. And if you played it, it was easy to see why. It's a puzzle game with no time limit, and it didn't even have special modes, but the chain of evolution, trying to keep all the fruit inside of the square container, it's very, very good. There's something about it that's compelling enough for people who really like puzzle games to keep going back. So I think this is definitely a number 3 for me, not because it was virally popular, but just because it was so incredible. I love games that take a different turn, where it's not you have to match 3 or do the color thing like Bejeweled or put lines in like Tetris, where it really tries to bring something new to the table. And one of the only other games that's a puzzle game I've seen do the evolutionary thing is a game called Critter Crunch. And that was a game I absolutely adored as well. So, second game is a tie. Okay. Those of you who know me knew Sea of Stars was going to be on here because it's such a good game. It's a turn-based RPG. Your 2 main characters up there are Valere and Zale, and they are Solstice Warriors. And they are on a quest to destroy the Dwellers. And the Dwellers were bad things made by the Fleshmancer named Aephorul. And it's about where they go and who they are and helping solve the world, and maybe more than one world's problems. And the art style is gorgeous. Absolutely. The pixel, I don't really compliment many pixel art games on their use of graphics, but I wish I could paint the way they designed this game. It was so immersive and so good. And the characters, my favorite were Garl and Yolande. And it is such a good game. I want to see where the world is going, where the story progresses, because they have such a good lore foundation for this game that I'm like, I don't want to leave this world. I want to see what happens next. And the second game on this is Astral Ascent. It is a roguelike, and it is a multiplayer roguelike. I think it's just local only. But you have 4 characters who are on the screen right there who want to kill a being called the Master. The Master is destroying and or enslaving worlds as the whim hits them. And they have guardians of this jail thing they keep everybody in. And the guardians are all based on the signs of the zodiac. And each area has 3 set guardians that rotate out. So one time you might fight Taurus, one time you might fight Capricorn, and you can get 1 out of every 3 in each new part of the world. They ask you about your astrological signs, so I'm wondering if you get to yours, if something happens. I haven't been there yet. But even though the controls are very easy to understand, and so is the plight of the characters, you learn things as you go along about them, who they are, the people who help you and who they are. There are a huge amount of unlocks and upgrades. There are upgrades for spells and getting new spells, and there are elemental effects like poison and electricity and fire and ice. It is really a good game. You can actually get something called an aura, which is an upgrade per run that kind of affects all your overall stuff. You have an ultimate, so like the one guy with the guns has an ultimate of like this drone that he can deploy. You have alternate costume colors to unlock. You have echoes, which are basically side characters that can help you. You can unlock certain like zodiacs that can actually help you each run, not as a permanent unlock, but you can find them or challenge them. And they do have challenges. So like one is a memory game. One is you have to defeat more targets than they did, all that kind of stuff. So they have some kind of mini game to request their help as kind of a spell or like a side character thing that you use once in a while. There's just so many different things. You can actually change the colors of your costume by unlocking that. There are potions that you can upgrade per run. And there are just so many different upgrades and things you can get permanently and per run. And you all know what I say. If you cannot permanently unlock stuff, it is not an actual roguelike. And this actually has, my husband said, a lot of like Hades-esque things to it in regards to the unlocks and whatnot. So I've been really enjoying this. And of course, going back to Sea of Stars, you know, Mario RPG, where you take the hits and you can time it right so you take less damage or deal more. Like, there are just so many little things in both of these games that make them beautiful and interesting and something you want to experience again or more often. Now, I'm going to let you know, I have not yet beat Astral Ascent. Husband and I are working on it, but right now, we have spent over 12 hours in the game. We do runs almost every day. It is amazing. Sea of Stars, there's DLC coming. I don't know when, I don't know what it entails, but I can't wait. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for. My number one this year is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Oh my gosh. I like 2D Marios, but this they took and they expanded so much. It's a beautiful world. You have tons of characters. There's new enemies and new mechanics and the badge system and so many different things. The challenge run rooms with the different badges, and there's the elephant costume and all kinds of new things to explore. Just when you think that a series like Mario could get stale, they're like, nah, bitch. Nope, here's what's next. And I love what came next. I loved the final fight. I loved everything about it. I love that they kind of brought back the airship in a way. It was just such a ride to go on. And you can go on a ride with your friends too. I love that. I love that you can play locally together and how that can, you can have your husband save your butt. Not that I've ever done that or anything. And how you have characters that are made to be easier, like the Yoshis, in case you have smaller children who want to play with you. There's just so much. And like I said, the way they utilized when you got the seeds that transform the worlds, oh my goodness, that was so trippy and so unique and fantastic. The mechanics were stretched and rebuilt, and it felt like a whole new dawn had been ushered into this franchise, and it made me very excited for Mario again. Where Mario has always been a good time, I'm actually excited for the next part. Like, what are you going to show me next? And I know it's going to be wondrous. Well, that's pretty much it. That's the tops, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite games. I didn't play things like Alan Wake 2 or whatever, so I can't speak on that, but you know me, I'll always give you my opinion, even if it's never asked for. So take care, everybody, and I will see you next year, same place. Bye.